Today, we'll be going to the Mediterranean and Middle Eastern. I'm sorry, I've got Mediterranean on my mind. The Middle Eastern, and we will be making a dish with, it's actually with chicken. It's like a chicken cutlet, but we're going to do it with sesame seeds, and we're going to have a tahini spot and all that. So I'm going to show you exactly what I did. In the recipe that I actually found, it said we should fry our cutlets. I tried to go one step healthier, and I actually air fried mine. If you don't have air fryer, that's fine. You can just stick them in the oven. You know, as long as they reach to 165 and they're fully cooked. All right, so I'm going to show you exactly what I did for the cutlets, and then I'll make the tahini sauce with you. So I used some fresh thyme, some sesame seeds, and a little bit of salt and pepper. I'm going to put a little bit of salt and pepper in the thing now. But they have something called sumac. It's a seasoning that you can add to it. I couldn't find the seasoning, but there's always an alternative to everything. So I've actually got a little bit of lemon zest. I'm just going to add a tiny bit of lemon zest into this. I don't go too crazy with the lemon zest because it can be, you know, a little bit bitter. And they said not to use too much as well. So I'm just going to, I have a little bit in there from the recipe that I did this morning. So I'm not going to go crazy. I'm just doing a little bit. And then we'll carry on. All right, so we have our sesame seeds, we have our fresh thyme. Just put a little bit more fresh thyme in there. And we have our panko breadcrumbs. Now, panko breadcrumbs you can buy in whole wheat. And what we're going to do, we're going to get our cutlet, we're going to dip it in the egg. I'm going to dip that in the egg, let it drip off into the flour, coat, back into the egg for 1 second just to make it really stick. And then we're going to go into our cutlet. And we're going to make sure we get all the good stuff on there. It's got sesame seeds and things like that. And then we're going to put it on the baking tray. As I mentioned, I air fried mine. We're just going to quickly, we are going to put that in the air fryer. But as I said before, you can definitely put it in the oven. Back into the egg. Coat it so it's nice and coated with the sesame seeds, the fresh thyme, the lemon zest onto your baking tray. Okay, I've done 2, so I'm just going to leave it at that. All right, so we're going to do a tahini sauce to go with this chicken. It looks like this, and it actually tastes really, really good. Very sesame. So we're going to add 2 small cloves of garlic. We're going to add half a cup of the tahini sauce. Then we're going to add olive oil. And we have some lemon juice that I've already squeezed out. Okay, so we're going to add that. I'm going to turn on the blender for 2 seconds. All right, so it comes out like a little pasty. You can, okay, but it does like melt down a little bit, and it's really, really good. I'm going to show you how it looks at my results. Okay, so this is how it comes out. As you see, the chicken with the sesame seeds with some tahini sauce, and I made like a cabbage slaw salad. So that is.
Ooh, that looks great. Also, remember their tahini sauce, if it gets a little thick, you can always thin it with a little bit of water.
Yes, that's actually what I did on the first round. And you can, you know, so, you know, you have a piece of chicken, it's like a dipping sauce, and it's really good. It really sets it off nice. All right, so the water of the week, I just did lemon and limes because that's what I had. So we have lemon and limes of the week for our water.
So we're going to do, so since we're going to be in the Middle East, so now we're going to a recipe I saw from Egypt. It is very interesting because it's almost like it's a comfort food, and it's a great recipe for leftovers. So I thought that there would be a good opportunity to use them. So it is a mix. It's different leftovers. I'm going to show you what the ingredients are, and it actually cooks in almost no time. So the original recipe is just 3 ingredients: leftover lentils, leftover brown rice, and some leftover pasta. They'll have like macaroni here. These are all cooked, and you can, imagine you had some leftovers, so you're gonna do. Now the key things to this, I have in my pan here already. I've been cooking this onion. There's nothing but olive oil and like 1 tablespoon of olive oil and 1 large onion, just chopped. and it's been cooking for, this is the key, like 20 minutes. Medium low heat, but just let them cook, and you see how they start getting really nice and very sweet, a lot of flavor and color. That's all it is. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. So we're gonna start doing our mix. So the recipe calls for some tomato sauce. We're gonna put this tomato sauce directly in there and start cooking. It really takes very little time, since obviously all the lentils are cooked, the brown rice is cooked, and the pasta is cooked. If you don't have them cooked, you can cook them ahead of time, and then you put them in the recipe. So now we're letting cook the sauce with the tomato, and we're gonna sprinkle a little bit of oregano, just a little bit. Remember, when it's dry herbs, you can always crush them with your fingers a little bit and just put them in there. And of course, it calls for a little bit of hot chili. This is chili pepper. Little goes a long way. That one you shouldn't crush with your fingers, because then you will feel it. Just put it in there. So it'll it starts seasoning really well. The recipe does not call for garlic, but I don't see, if you don't like garlic and you have some garlic, you can chop it in and cook it. I wouldn't cook it as long as with the onions. I'll put it like around now and continue cooking. So this makes its own little pasta sauce. So now, and at this point, you would add all the grains and the legumes. What I'm gonna do is, so obviously that's all good in the recipe, but of course, we're gonna add some veggies. The recipe doesn't call for any more veggies other than the onion. I have some green beans, so I'm gonna dice them. And I also have here some butternut squash. You can put just very little, like maybe this is about a cup. Like I called this recipe like a cup of everything, a cup of rice, a cup of pasta, a cup of lentils. I have some Brussels sprouts. These are already cooked. They've been just steamed. I cut them in half to make it easier to eat. There he goes. And we're just letting cook. Meanwhile, I'm gonna chop our green beans. So remember, this is a really good strategy that you should always think about. Anytime you're adding vegetables like we are doing right now to a recipe that doesn't call for it, you are raising the amount of nutrients in the dish and increasing the amount of fiber, and also reducing the calories. Adding these kinds of veggies like this that are steamed or pre-cooked and with nothing on it, little oil, everything. So that's just reducing per serving of the dish. You'll just have less calories and you'll still be very full. So basically this, we only need to get this to heat the veggies for a second. While we add that, we're gonna just add, and if you need a little bit of water, you can add. I'm gonna start adding all these. There goes my cup of green lentils. Doesn't matter if you have green lentils, you have red lentils, you have black lentils, either of them work. I've heard that this is, I'm gonna put a little less of the rice and see how it goes. Mix it. And then I have a little bit of parsley in here. So a little goes a long way. If you see and you add all the veggies, then you just like grab to make it really nice and yummy. So actually someone has heard, they said this is in Egypt, they use it for like kids love it. Have you ever heard, I was thinking this is a version of like rice-a-roni, the San Francisco thing that of course now what do? They sell it in a package with a lot of salt, a lot of processed stuff. But rice-a-roni is like a macaroni and some rice in it. You can make it at home, but this is a version of that, now Egyptian. But of course, we've added veggies. I'm gonna let it cook for a little bit more. You need to like make it nice and hot, and you can taste it. Let's give it a little taste. And if it's a little dry, you can add, I'm getting there. And then we're gonna have, just at the end, a little bit of parsley, chopped parsley, which we're gonna also add now, toss, and we can serve. It's actually not unlike a risotto. I'm gonna put a little bit more pepper. Actually, it's good on salt, because you know the pasta was already cooked with a little bit of salt in the water. So this is it, and then you can just serve it nice and I'll show you in a bowl. Grab your nice bowl. You can even grab it with a scoop. This, make it nice, and this you can serve it right away. You have some spinach. You can add spinach also to let it wilt, or kale. Look at this, it's really nice and hearty. Yeah, they said this is also like after party hangover food in Egypt. Not only that, kids love it, but also adults. But so you can serve it just like that and give it a little sprinkle of more parsley. And if you like a little bit more of the chili, just a little sparkle of chili. And that's it. This is your nice, hearty Egyptian hangover, Egyptian party food. So I hope you like it.